Hey amigos, hope you're having a really good day wherever you are in the world. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know I really love two things: love traveling, and personal growth. And one of the best ways to have a lot of personal growth, transformation is by solo travel. And we're very lucky today to have Hayley. I'm going to interview Hayley. She's going to share her story and how solo travel and just traveling around the world has transformed her life. Hey Hayley, how you going? Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me. This is awesome.
Yep.
And yeah, hi guys, I'm Hayley. I've been traveling full time for 5 years. Sort of around 2 of those have been solo. I traveled the first 3 years with my ex-husband. And when we separated, I went solo traveling, which is something we will get into on this. And I'm currently in the Philippines, traveling through Asia and Australia for the last 8-9 months, and loving it. And on this journey, I met the wonderful Corey, and here we are.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, you've interviewed me, which I
Yes.
really enjoyed. It hasn't been released yet, has it? You haven't released the video?
No. We were a bit behind on that front.
No, that's all cool. I'm excited to see it. That was you were both awesome when you interviewed me, yourself and Ness. It was great.
So Ness is in Sri Lanka at the moment. I'm going there tomorrow.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And we're both a little bit sick at the moment. So
yes.
I hope you have a safe travel tomorrow.
No, I hope so too. I have an ear infection from diving. And oh my gosh, it's knocked me sideways. So yeah, I'm still on antibiotics. Hopefully it'll be fine tomorrow.
Is that from dirty water, do you believe? Or is it just pressure?
So it's just I think it's bits of pressure. Because I just passed my certification last week.
Yeah.
Which I'm really excited about. But because I had meningitis probably about 10 years ago now, and it caused nerve issues in my ears. I have tinnitus, so my ears are very sensitive. So I think it's just because my ears weren't used to the pressure and the water, that as soon as water got into them, it just caused an infection.
People die from meningitis, don't they? Or have serious
I almost did. I was in a coma.
Really?
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm sorry to hear that. My dad was in hospital with the same thing for about two weeks, and for the last 15 years, he can't taste. He's lost his taste buds.
I came out I was lucky. The only thing that I have a few nerve issues because of it. So the virus attacked my spinal cord. So I had build up of protein on it, and I had to have I think 3 lumbar punches, which are not fun. And not fun things.
Wow.
And I was on isolation for a while. I remember my friend coming in to see me and saying that she said goodbye. She said goodbye to me.
Wow.
I don't really remember much about being in the hospital. I remember when I first came round, I had the worst migraines possible. But yeah, over time the nerves are because nerves are really good at healing themselves, but my nerve system was attacking itself. So it was a mess. It was a mess. And I've had the jab as well. I've had the meningitis jab. I don't know where it came from.
Yeah, right. Wow. Sorry to hear that. That's not cool. But yeah, at least you're doing better now. And hopefully you get over the ear infection soon. So,
I think it's something I'm probably going to have to get used to. But yeah, it sucks. Because it was annoying because I came here specifically for diving, and I passed my scuba, which was the most important, but I had my free diving and I couldn't do it. And now I've just sort of been, just because I have to take them three times a day, the antibiotics, and they're so strong, they knock me out. So I've been stuck in my room for a week, and it's just, I'm quite ready to move on now, to be honest. I'm so bored.
Well, yeah, hopefully, get over that very quickly. So, and in the last 5 years, 45 countries. I don't know.
So 45 countries over sort of the span of my lifetime.
Span your life. Yeah.
But probably majority of them, I'd say 80% of the 45 countries I visited would be the last 5 years. Definitely.
Wow. And I asked you before too, what was your favorite country? And if you just want to share that again. So out of all of them,
I will always say, I get asked this question a lot. I will always say Brazil and Sri Lanka, and I cannot wait to get back to Sri Lanka tomorrow. But I think in like the past few months, like I've been to Indonesia, I've spent a lot of time in Indonesia, and I've absolutely fallen in love with it. It has everything that I like look for in a country, like good wildlife, affordability, good weather, and most importantly, the people there are the friendliest people I've ever met, like in any country, and like friendlier than Thailand, friendlier than Bolivia. Like they're just genuine people. They're so hospitable. They cannot do enough for you. And I made so many good friends. There's no edge to them. It's yeah, you just feel so safe.
Yeah, cool. And we're not just talking about Bali. Everyone just thinks Bali.
Oh yeah, no, we're not doing Bali.
No.
There's more to Indonesia than Bali. I have been, and I don't like it. And and it's like it's just it's so busy. It's outpricing the locals. It's the worst kind of tourism, in my opinion. It's unsustainable. It's like I heard the news recently where the 2 Dutch guys have been banned because they opened they started a running club and wouldn't allow the locals to join. It's just like, it's that kind of, excuse my language, bullshit that I don't have the time for. And I think it's the one place as well that I've been to where like I just didn't. There's no like it's the pretentious wellness. It's the it's that kind of vibe. It's like everyone there is like pretending to be on some kind of spiritual journey, and I just think everyone is very lost there. And I'm probably going to get in a lot of trouble for saying that, but that's how I feel about it. And it's the one place as well. It's like you just can't connect with anyone. No one wants to connect. No one. I went to like a wellness festival, and granted, I met a very like who's someone who's now very very good friend, Indy. I did meet her there, but like no one wants to connect with you. Everyone is it's like everyone wants to show off.
Oh wow.
And it's like, it's just not my vibe. Bali isn't my vibe at all. I much more prefer like local places. And I like going to places where tourists don't go, like sort of off the beaten track a bit as well. That's the kind of travel that I love the most.
Yeah. And on that note, I'm off to Bali in 5 weeks. So wish me
luck.
Yes,
so excited. I'm so
I'm excited. I'm going for my mum's, but it's not somewhere.
Sure.
It's not somewhere I would have chose. It's my mum, my sister, they were excited to go, and I'm happy to be there.
And like Bali's
we're
great.
gonna have a good time. Like it's close.
It's easy travel as well. Like it is beautiful there. There's lots to do. Like there are good things to it. For me, it's the level of tourism there that isn't like the tourism there doesn't support the local community in any shape or form. And that's what I don't like about it. I always say if it wasn't for the people, Bali would be amazing.
I can only imagine what it was like in the 80s. I went in 98 the first time, but the 80s, even before that, must have been amazing. A lot of countries would have been just so cool back then. Oh
my gosh, I went to Thailand in my 20s, and I'm showing my age now. It was a long time ago, but I remember going to PP, and it's just dead. There was like barely anyone there. There were times when I had the beach to myself, and I don't remember it being overtly busy, other than the full moon party. And even then, I don't really remember it being like as crowded as people describe it is now. And I went back to PP in February, and it was a different island. It was a different island. It was so many people. You couldn't move. And I just think, it's I think a lot of countries they benefit from tourism, but I don't think that they benefit from tourism, if that makes sense. It's like through our podcast, we interviewed a tour guide called Chris that we met in the Philippines, in Cebu, actually, the first time we came. And we said on the video, we were like, who is what's the one thing you want tourists to know about your country, or like what advice would you give tourists who are coming to the Philippines? And he was like, don't come to my country. There's too many people here. And I think there was a lot. Like I remember going on a walking tour in Split in Croatia a few years ago, and I don't know like whoever's been to Split who's listened to this. It's a beautiful city, port city in Croatia, and he started crying. The guy started crying because he was like, "There's too many people here. It's become unsustainable. It's become unaffordable for the locals." And he literally broke down, and he was like, "I know that you pay for my job, but I don't want you here." And I think a lot of countries are going through that now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think El Salvador, my favorite country is El Salvador, as people watching would know. And You've been there too, hey? Or
I haven't been to El Salvador,
been
but
there.
you
That's
definitely made me put it on my list.
Yeah. But that's going to end up like Bali. I've been telling people the last couple of years, I can just see it now. It's going to end up like Bali. So for anyone that wants to go to El Salvador, go now before it changes too much. So yeah. And what led you to traveling, this transformation? Like, if you don't mind sharing your childhood, I know you've shared it with me before, and I mentioned before I couldn't sleep. I was thinking about it. I was like, wow, that's pretty heavy stuff. So, but I know it will, maybe help a lot of people, inspire some people. So I really, really appreciate if you'd share.
I have zero issue sharing, and zero issue sharing with you guys. As I was saying to you earlier, like it's like I'm sharing someone else's story these days. It doesn't feel like it's connected to me anymore. So I've done so much healing around it, and I've come to like so many realizations around it. It's just sort of feels like I could just be sort of talking about what I had for dinner nowadays. Like there are certain parts of my story that I've shared with you that I won't share publicly yet. I'm not there yet. But yeah, I'll go into most of it for sure. I grew up in London, in the UK, and I grew up sort of between Essex and East London, and I was effectively let's call it abandonment, because that's what it was. I was abandoned by both of my parents. My dad left, I think, when I was 2 or 3, and had like zero interest in me. Didn't, like, as far as he was concerned, I didn't exist. He moved on to another family. He left my mum for another woman. And then my mum stuck around until sort of like my mid-late teens. But she wasn't present. She had her own issues. She had addiction issues. She had mental health issues. She didn't ever want children. That was made very, very clear. I would get told a lot, like, I wish I'd aborted you. I don't love you. I don't want you. You're not wanted. It was like, I don't have many good memories of her. And that's difficult when you're a child. It's difficult when you're a child to hear that from your mum, because your mum is supposed to be your mum. And but even like with my dad, like I remember when my dad got remarried, and I think I must have been about 6, and he made me sit on the fen side of the wedding. I wasn't allowed to sit on the family side, and I remember standing beside him, and his wife was pregnant or something, I remember, and he got asked about how he felt about the baby, and he said, I'm looking forward to my first. So it was like I was like, I didn't.
And this is all before you're even like 6. By the time you're
and so like I had don't get me wrong, I had the best grandparents, and I was very, very close to my aunt, my dad's sister, and my grandparents were my paternal grandparents. So I was very, very lucky to have them, because they stepped in, they stepped up to be my parents. They were there, they were present, and they allowed me to have some sort of normality in my childhood. But I don't think that they were aware about, I definitely don't think they were aware about half the stuff that was happening at home, because I think my granddad would be in prison.
I was going to ask, what did they think? Like, what did they say?
They hated my mom. They absolutely hated my mom. I don't know much about how my mom and dad got together. So my mom's Polish Ukrainian, and my dad's English. And I've been told that her maiden name is Katriniak, and but she used her stepdad's surname, which was D'Souza, and so I've been told that when my parents got married, my dad didn't even know her real surname.
Oh wow.
And so it was like, and it was a very toxic, from what I don't remember, I don't have any recollection of their marriage whatsoever. They were married for like 8 years, and it was like 3 years when I came along. So there was something in it for 8 years marriage, and even my marriage didn't last that long. So it was like, know much about their marriage. I know that it was incredibly toxic.
Yeah.
From what I've been told and from what I've learned. And I know, and my grandparents, obviously, like, it's their son. Like, he was the golden child. He always has been. Like, my mom was always going to be like enemy number one. But I remember there were times, like, my mom, like, wanted me to have a relationship with my dad, and every weekend he was supposed to have me. And I remember, like, sitting, like, my mom would, like, we had no money. And my mom would go out and buy, like, me new clothes so I could look presentable. And I would be sitting on the windowsill in, like, my new clothes waiting for him to come, and he never turned up. And then, like, as I got older and I had, like, a conversation with him, I got the whole, well, I tried, your mom never let me. And I was like, no, I remember you not turning up. I remember you being given every opportunity to be there. Even for my grandparents tried so hard to push us together, and neither of us wanted it by the end. The older I got and the more I learned that, and the more I realized, like, who he was and how he felt, I didn't want anything to do with him either. So he was always my dad was always like a presence in my life, but he was never present in my life. Wow. And I think that made it worse because I wanted a dad so badly. Like, I don't know if I wanted a dad. I just wanted someone to, like, be there for me. But, like, I realized, I learned as I got older that I did have a dad. I had my granddad, and my granddad was incredible, and I have the best memories with them. Like, they took me to Disney World, Florida when I was a kid. I wanted to ice skate, and so that, like, and be an ice skater, and, like, he paid for everything for that expense. He was, like, put me through coaching and classes and competitions, and like, he and then, like, I didn't go without, and he was very, like, both of them were very present, my grandparents, and and, like, they were quite, like, my granddad was a professional footballer for Chelsea, so, like, they were quite comfortable. So it was like I didn't go without with them, but I know that, like, they didn't support my mum in any way, because they didn't like her. And I think, to a degree, my granddad probably let his hatred towards my mum get in the way of her being able to support me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, financially. But, like, I remember sort of, like, they died sadly 4 years ago, and and so, yeah, but I'm just thinking about them now. Sorry, that's the one part. I think I do get emotional now, is because they were the best, and they were my life. They were my absolute life, and so I was very grateful for that. But yeah, in terms of the parents, like, I do have severe abandonment issues. I was for a very long time was unable to develop healthy relationships. I entered abusive relationships, narcissistic relationships, even friendships, toxic friendships, because that's what I thought what love was. And I thought that, like, love had to hurt, like, it couldn't be smooth. And I spent a long time, like, blaming myself for my parents leaving. Because as a kid, you don't understand why they're not there. You don't understand, like, what they don't want there. Like, I've spent, like, as I said, like, I've spent a lot of time healing. I have forgiven my mom. I understand her background. Like, she came from abuse. She had a hell of a lot of loss in her life. I don't think she ever really grew up. Like, she had me at 38. And whenever I tell someone this story and my background, they're like, 38? Like, it sounds like she had you when she was 19. And I was like,
that's
yes.
what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, but now, like, I'm 38. I'm the age that my mom was when she had me. I don't want children, but I'm like, I'm not ready for a child. I couldn't even think of anything worse than having a child in my life. Yeah. So, like, and I get it that she just shouldn't have had one. And she had another son, James, who I never met, when she was 18, and she put him into care, and she didn't want him either. And he went into he was in and out prison. He had addiction issues as well. I don't know the full story, but I just think that she was a very broken person, and she brought a child into very toxic environment as a very toxic person, and that's a lot of responsibility for someone that doesn't want responsibility. And again, like so she didn't know how to look after me. My dad, however, I still get so angry when I think about him and who he is and what he did to me, and I have no justification for it because I know my grandparents. There's no abuse there. There's no, like, they're not, like, he got everything he wanted. My aunt had the same upbringing and she's amazing. And so I've never been able to understand it. He just didn't care. And so, and like, he allowed his wife, he's not my mom, his wife, I refuse to call her my stepmom because she is not nothing to do with me. But he allowed her to treat me so horrifically and our family so horrifically. And I don't think there's no part of me that will ever forgive him. I've definitely forgotten about him in a sense. Like I there's no part of me that would ever want him in my life. The way that he's behaved, even at my grandparents' funerals, the way he behaved was atrocious. And the way that he behaved with my grandparents leading up to when they died, he was absolutely his behavior was disgusting. It's diabolical. And it's like, sorry, I could talk about this forever.
No, it's okay.
But it's like, I carried, because of him and his behavior, because I haven't been able to understand it or sort of make sense of who he is as a person, I carried a lot of guilt and shame with that in my 20s, and trying to understand it, because I felt so ashamed and guilty that was my dad and I had come from that. Wow. And I was like, how can I have come from something so evil and horrible? And I also felt there was a lot of fear around, am I going to be a psychopath? Am I going to be a narcissist? Am I I became very critical of myself, and I became very, I worked, and it had the opposite effect. It was like, I worked so hard to be the nice person, the nice girl, the yes person, the people pleaser, which was already in my traumatized DNA anyway. Mm-hmm. I was saying yes to the wrong people. I was being nice to the wrong people. I was letting the wrong people walk all over me and abuse me. And it just sort of fed into that entire cycle. Yeah. So I completely lost my identity. And this is what my 30s have been all about now. It's this is why traveling for me has been so transformative, especially solo travel, because I have been able to form my own identity. I've been able to build my own confidence. I'm traveling with Ness, who is the best friend in the entire world, who literally has helped me go through this entire transformation. And so when I do go off on my own and I solo travel, because that's what we've been doing, sort of mix and match, I can have that space to be confident and brave. And there are things that I've done this year, even silly little things. I went to a music festival by myself on Saturday. I would never have done that a year ago.
Wow.
So little things like that, that's really made a difference. And just I feel in my 30s now have been all about healing for me. And I think, I got off topic a little bit. Sorry, I lost my train of thought, but that's basically the crux of everything.
Wow. Yeah, my head's just, I don't know. That's heavy. That's I couldn't even begin to imagine. I grew up with, parents that loved me. Just the thought of them not loving me or abandoning me is, just makes my heart hurt. Just the thought, they're not experiencing and living it, and that's your lived experience, both your parents. And then, wow, that's just, I don't know. That's, super heavy. I didn't even know. That's just, crazy. And through that, you've had a lot of growth and everything like that. But I think when we were talking, you said you've been to a lot of psychologists. You've what have you done to process that to get to where you are now? Apart from the solo travel,
Yeah, no, it's definitely not all just been healing, hasn't all been down to travel. I've been in therapy consistently for 10, 12 years now.
Yeah.
Various different therapists, various different types of therapy. I actually started my therapy journey when I was 19,
Wow.
but I wasn't ready for it. I was a very, very naive, young, vulnerable 19-year-old. And I had no sort of self-direction or so. A lot of what I've dealt with as well is like looking at myself in my early 20s, and I had so much hatred for her when I was like late 20s, early 30s. Like I couldn't even like look back to that time, and so much resentment for sort of like my mistakes, what I did, like how I handled it. But obviously as I've got older and the trauma is like, that was my trauma response. I was dealing with the fallout of my mum leaving, and leaving unexpectedly. It was like didn't come home. Like I came home from school and I never saw her again. Like that's
There's
how
no goodbye, no note, no
nothing. So it was like I've never had any closure on that front. I don't even know where she is. I don't even know.
So you haven't spoke to her since, like nothing?
No, nothing. She messaged me on Facebook before when I got engaged. I'm friends with a couple of her friends on Facebook, or I was, and one of them must have told me that I got engaged. But because before I got engaged, she reached out to me and asked for money. And and I ignored her. And then when we made the engagement announcement on Facebook, she reached out to me again and said basically like, oh, you can afford to get married, but you can't afford to give me money. You're dead to me.
What the? Man, I'm angry.
So, I think she blocked me, and I haven't heard from her since.
What?
So
that's crazy.
And nothing, and that was Jesus, like 8 years ago, like way before COVID. And so that was the last time. But as far as I know, she was living in Egypt the last time I heard anything. But
oh wow,
she would be like well into her 70s by now, and she wasn't a well person. So I would be surprised if she wasn't dead, but I honestly don't know, and I don't know if I will. It's like, and I don't know if I'd want to know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to act. I don't know how I'm going to feel if I'm ever told that, or if someone updates me. But I don't know, and I don't have any communication with anyone that would know anymore. So I don't know how I would find out.
Yeah. Wow.
But when I did hear from her, like every once in a blue moon, I always asked her for answers. And all I ever got was, it's not my fault. I didn't do anything wrong. Oh, I must be the worst mom in the world kind of bullshit. And it's just, I just stopped caring, because I'm never going to get anything from you. It's the same with my dad. I went for dinner with him, Jesus, early 20s, like years ago. And this was the last time I had a proper conversation with him. And it was because my granddad wanted me to. And I was like, I'm going to do it for you. I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for you. And again, it was just like victim mentality from both of my parents. Like, oh, I must be the worst dad in the world. Oh, it was all your mom's fault. She did this, she did that. And then he was like talking to a child. It was like, yeah, but you've never even because I just graduated. And I was like, you didn't even send me a graduation card. Yeah, I know. There was no like responsibility or reasoning or like justification. It was like, no, everything is everyone else's fault. And like, I'm not going to take responsibility for anything. And that's not who I am as a person. Like, I take responsibility for my actions. Like, I've made a hell of a lot of mistakes in my life, and like I own them. And so it's just to have two parents that literally cannot do that is so frustrating. Yeah. It's so frustrating. And especially like when they have hurt you or hurt me so much, and have like basically like set me up as this like traumatized human being for the rest of my life. It's like to not have any answers for that is just incredibly frustrating, and just it's just yeah, I don't care anymore. I don't want those answers, but it's just yeah, it's exhausting.
Yeah. So apart like the psychologists,
Oh yes, sorry,
counselors,
therapy.
yeah, like yeah, no, that's cool. Like yeah, no, I
ADHD.
appreciate no, that's so cool. It's very interesting. Like
See,
I just sit here like my mind's blown. Like I'm just like, how could I always think like, man, how would I deal with that? Like, and how messed up. Oh man, that's heavy. I think it's heavy to go through
yeah,
life and the
yeah.
confusion.
So,
I don't know. Like, did you always feel like a lot of like obviously a lot of emotion, but that confusion as well? Like my fault, their bad. Like I don't know. It must have been just a whirlwind in your mind.
it
Like
was
yeah,
confusion when I was younger.
yeah,
The like not really understanding. I think there's been different levels of confusion to the entire journey. So when I was younger, it's the confusion around like why did they leave? Like what did I do wrong? Like what is happening? Because no one has those answers, right?
yeah,
And then like in my now the confusion, like last year I had the worst year of my entire life, like I've ever had. Like honestly, we'll go into it in a second. But last year, a lot of it was the confusion around why was I born into these parents? Because all I wanted last year were parents. I wanted parents that I could go home to, who were nurturing, who were loving, that could just hug me and tell me everything was going to be all right. And obviously my grandparents aren't around. My relationship with my aunt at the moment is fractured for God knows what reason. She's not talking to me, so I didn't have anyone last year, and so everything was around like, why was I given these parents? Like I wanted a purpose. I wanted a reason as to why. Like there must be a reason or a grander purpose as to why I was given these parents. And so I'm incredibly spiritual. I've become very spiritual throughout my life. So like everything for me is like there needs to be a reason for something to happen. And I needed that answer last year. And I think that was a crux of a lot of the therapy that I had last year as well. It's like obviously my therapist can't give me an answer. He's like, I don't know. Like it's like, but like he was trying to work through that with me. But I just got stuck on that. I got so stuck on that of like, I need an answer. I need to know why, not why they left, why I was given those parents. And why I was born into those parents, and no one has
like a silver lining. Is that right? Is that what it's called?
Just a
Is
purpose. Like something. My life must be leading to something that makes sense of why I had these parents.
Yeah.
And I've kind of settled on it now. Like I'm kind of just accepted it. But
have you got that answer? Have you got that?
You know what? I read a post on social media. I think it was towards the end of last year that really like gave me the answer that I needed, and it just allowed everything to settle. So I read a post, and it said, as souls, before we're born, we get to choose the life that we're born into, and the people that want the biggest growth and the biggest rewards in life would choose the hardest path. And so even just knowing that and was just so settling for me, like it was so I justified it, and it was sort of like I've sort of just gone on that now for since it sort of allowed me. I think like it's not an answer, but it's a reason that I can accept. It's sort of like it's landed in me.
So you mentioned before that you don't want kids. Is that, if you don't mind me asking, is that to do with the fear of, like you said before, like you went for a stage in your life where you're like, I hope I'm not going to be like my parents. You were scared. Like you were like, you know what I mean? You were scared you're going to be like them. Is that a reason you don't want kids?
It's a reason. It's not the reason. It's a reason. I've never been maternal ever. Like even as a child, I never played I rarely played with dolls. I think I can't remember who it was, but someone bought me like the post office game where you could pretend to run a post office.
Okay.
And that was it for me. Like I was like, yes, I want to be a business owner from like the age of 5 years old. Like I never knew, it was never kids for me. Like I never like playing mummy and daddies and all of that rubbish. I come from like the family, my grandparents' side of the family, because there's no one on my mum's side. It was a lot of like very strong, independent women that don't have children, and that was always very much like choose your career, stick to your career. Your career is more important. And like one of my aunt's cousins, I don't know what the relationship would be to me, Kim. Like she was married to the former. The founder of Kiss FM, like the UK's biggest radio station. So it was like all of these like high power like relationships and careers and things like that's what I grew up with. So that was my focus, and it was very much my focus in my 20s. But yeah, there's an element of like I don't think I would be a good mom. I'm too selfish for children. As I said, I'm at the age now when my mum had me, and I really just couldn't think of anything worse than bringing a child into the world. And I wouldn't want to bring in a child into the world that isn't wanted, like my mum did. I don't want to repeat history. And a lot of people will say, oh, women are so selfish for not having children. I'm like, the most selfish thing you can do is bring a child into the world when you don't want it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
And I'm pretty convinced, like, I can't have children anyway. Like 90% of the women in my family can't have children. Most of my cousins are adopted. So I don't, I don't think that I can have kids anyway. I wouldn't be surprised, but yeah, I don't want, like, I love kids, don't get me wrong, like I'm not like a kid hater or anything. Two of my best friends have children, and I love them dearly, but for like a day and then I'm done.
Yeah, I'm the same. Don't worry, my wife and I, like, we love kids. We got nieces, nephews, and I've been a youth worker and working with kids. Like, we're great with kids, but I never wanted children. My wife never wanted children, and we're stoked that we don't have children. It's better that way. Like, yeah, it's just, I don't know. Yeah, we're happy. Like, I've never felt upset that I don't have a child, like, at all. Like,
and yeah, I don't know anyone, like, I don't know anyone that regrets not having children.
Yeah.
And I, like, all most of my close friends now, other than the two I mentioned, like, they don't want children. None of them, like, I'm the only one out of my friend group that's ever got married.
Yeah.
Wow. And we're all in our late 30s, early 40s. Like, it's just like it's just completely normalized around me to not have children. So it's not something I've ever, like, it's never been something that's a part of my life.
Yeah.
And
so,
it's like, sorry.
Oh, you're right. So have you read any, like, good books as well? Like, do you like books? Like as you're traveling now, like, yes, you know, personal development books, mindset books, podcasts, like, what's your daily?
All of it.
Yeah, like now, like, yeah, is it still like therapy? Like, as you're traveling, like therapy, what are you doing?
Like, I have ADHD, and I have major issues with consistency, and focus, huge issues. So I am a doom scroller, and I do it too much, and I recognize that, and I really am trying to create better habits with it.
Me too. I like, that's what my biggest thing I'm facing right now is doom scrolling. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Yeah.
And I think it's an issue for anyone. I think anyone that says it isn't is lying or doesn't have a phone.
Yeah.
And so I've kind of tried to sort of curate this sort of like healthy algorithm, because I don't use Facebook, and I use TikTok for work. I don't, the TikTok is just not built for, it's not user friendly. I hate it. But Instagram is my go-to. And so I've tried to curate this sort of like interesting, positive, educational, community-driven algorithm. So I only try to engage with things that I'm genuinely interested in, or that things I want to learn from. Like, I'm vegan, so a lot of my algorithm is veganism and animal rights and activism, which is what I do in the UK. Or it's sort of like sort of positive sort of mantras and therapy and mental health. And I try to avoid things that make me anxious. So, like, my idea of success has changed significantly. Even in the last 9 months, it's changed so much. And, like, I feel that social media has very much become driven towards, like, hustle again and making money. And, like, if you're not making 10 grand a month, what are you doing? Like, it's so toxic. So I try to avoid stuff like that. So it's like it's difficult because Instagram's going to push out what it wants you to push out, what it wants to push it out to you. So sometimes, but yeah, I spend too long on it. But no, I do love reading. I'm currently reading Women Who Run with Wolves, which is one of my favorite books. I've read it like 1,000 times. It's like my go-to. And every time I read it, it's so basically it's about it's a nonfiction, and it's written by a Spanish woman who talks about how like women can find their inner wolf and their feminine energy, and the importance of tapping into their intuition, and the importance of like following your head and your heart, and when to know the difference, and how to like sort of survive in this world that's built for men. And every time I read it, something different clicks, because I always read it at a different part of my journey. Even this time I'm reading it when I'm like this really strong part of my healing journey. I'm like, oh my God, like that makes complete sense. Or why didn't I know that before? Like, oh, this chapter, makes so much more sense. So it's like, it's my go-to book. I always go back to it. And then funnily enough, I was in Bali of all places, and I was in this health food shop, and I found this book, and I can never remember what the book's called. But I'm reading it, and it's basically inspired by Women Who Run with Wolves, and it's about a woman that gets divorced and she goes traveling. It's a little bit Eat, Pray, Love, but it's all about how she finds herself in Asia, and I'm like, that sounds familiar. So I'll start reading that one, and it's written by an Indonesian author, and so it's really nice. And then another book that I have with me is called Ethical Vegan, which is written by a friend of mine, and he's responsible in the UK for changing the policy against discrimination against vegans. So you can no longer discriminate against vegans now in the workplace, or like you have to offer like vegan options, or you have to you can't not hire someone because they're vegan, things like that. So he basically has written that book about how he did that, and his vegan journey, and that's really interesting. 100% recommend that if you want to learn more about veganism. But yeah, if I could carry all of the books around, I would get a Kindle. But firstly, I don't really agree with buying anything from Amazon, and secondly, I've had them before and I break them. They're not travel friendly. And but I've actually started retraining. I've just been accepted onto a uni course to retrain as a somatic therapist. So I'm really, really excited about that, because that's another huge part of my journey. So I've been practicing somatic therapy for 5 years now, which basically somatic therapy is like therapy through movement and dance and connecting with your body rather than your mind. And so it's changed my life, and I sort of want to start bringing that to other people, and the education and awareness around it, because I think it's one of the lesser known therapy practices. And I think it's honestly one of the most important, because there's so many people out there that are ill, that have chronic illness, especially women that have like severe gut health issues or autoimmune diseases, all caused just because of trauma. And so for me it's so important. But I've just been given a reading list of like 16 books. So I think it might be time to do like an Audible or like an audiobook subscription. So I'm going to need to start doing that. But Body Keeps the Score is also one of my favorite books. Absolutely, like that. That's what put me on my somatic therapy journey. It was actually a therapist that recommended it and said you should read it, and then I read it and I was like, this makes so much sense. And it's one of the first books as well, because I'm a massive believer in that ADHD is, in some cases, is a trauma response in the brain. And I was
only reading about that the other day and learning about it the other day.
And it's one of the first books that I read about it, and it just clicked, and it made so much sense to me, because I believe that my ADHD is a massive trauma response as through my childhood trauma. So it's reading, and then podcasts. I do love a podcast. True crime podcast for me.
True crime. I don't get. You've been through so much trauma. I thought that would be like not helping your nervous system. Like I thought that would be like, you know what I mean? Like I was going to ask you some questions about your nervous system in a minute. So that I find that interesting. Like true crime would just I've always been obsessed with true crime. Wow.
I wanted to be a behavioral scientist when I was younger, and a criminal in criminology, and I read every book about criminal profiling and serial killer profiling that I could find. I wanted to work for the
It
FBI
doesn't scare
profiling
you,
department.
like watching it, and then
It's weird. Like
doesn't make
it's
you
a
scared,
safety
or
thing.
huh?
It's like it makes me feel safe. It makes me feel
Really?
like, yeah, if anything was to happen, like I know how to like deal with it.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And I don't know. It's like I love the I think what a lot of my trauma has taught me as well, especially like with trying to understand my dad's behavior, is like the psychology of behavior, like around sort of like toxic behavior and narcissistic behavior. And because I figured that there isn't a logical reason for it, there must be a psychological reason for it. So like going down that route and trying to understand that and learning about that sort of led me to sort of like getting quite fascinated about the mind and the psychological behaviors of psychopaths and sociopaths. And that sort of led me on to learning more about serial killers and how they operate, and sort of it's sort of stemmed from the trauma in a way.
Yeah. Wow. Like, so the question I wanted to ask, like anyone, not everyone, but a lot of people like myself and know a lot of people, like they've been through like childhood trauma, adult trauma. Yeah, we have that addiction because we're so familiar. Like, what do you call it? Like having anxiety, being out of control, things not being healthy. We're subconsciously like addicted to it because it feels familiar. Like we're not familiar with peace, calm. Like, where are you now? Where is Hayley now at 38 years old in your nervous system? Where would you say where would you maybe even rate your nervous system on a scale of 1 to 10? Like, is it calm? Like, obviously not all the time. Like, yeah, where would you like rate it on a scale of 1 to 10? Like,
really interesting question. Because it is definitely better. It's definitely more regulated than it used to be. I can handle things a lot better than I used to be able to. Like I used to be so stressed and so anxious all of the time that when like something happened, I went from 0 to 100 in like a second. Now I have a different perspective on things. I can I try to take a step back and look at things differently. But sometimes I go the opposite way where like I get so laid back on things that if something bad happens, I'm just like, because I'm like, well, what I went through and the shit that I've been through, it's like, it doesn't get worse than that. So it's just kind of like trying to like, I just get to the point where I'm like, there's a solution. I can like, it's fine. I don't worry about it. I was like in some sort of like situations where people would genuinely and rationally get like stressed over something or upset or like scared over something, I could be there and be like, it's fine. Like, so I do go sort of opposite end of the spectrum sometimes, but I do have a baseline anxiety, and that's never going to go away, because I live in a constant sort of fear of expecting something to happen, like high alert. I have that, like that's constant, and I don't know if that will ever change. Hope it might do. I don't know, but for now, like it's there. And especially over the last 5 years, like I've stepped out of my comfort zone so many times, and I've changed my life and started over so many times that things don't really scare me as much as they used to anymore, because I know that things are going to be all right. But I do have fear. My body, like when I did the dive-in, for example, like diving is anxious anyway, right? Scuba diving is scary. But like my entire system just went into meltdown and overdrives. It's like, what are you doing? Like, no, this isn't normal. We need you. Like, as soon I jumped off the boat, and I was on my first 18-meter dive, and I jumped off the boat, and everything in me froze, and my entire body just wanted me to get back on the boat. It's like, well, no, this isn't okay. So I do have like more heightened anxiety in situations like that. But sorry. And
Well, it's better than before because we couldn't
yeah.
even record before. It was freezing. So I have no problem with a bit of background noise. It's all
Cool.
cool.
Nice. Perfect. Yeah, it's been relatively quiet actually. It's quite nice.
Yeah.
But no, so it does fluctuate. But I do a lot of healing around nervous system regulation. And I've done a lot of healing around sort of what makes it worse, what makes it better, how to manage my stress levels, how to sort of like manage my anxiety and things. So it's not like it's something in my 20s where it was incredibly unregulated, incredibly. And I wasn't mature enough to understand what was happening. So I made like some really bad decisions because of it and some toxic behaviors. And but now I sort of like have like control over it a lot more. But yeah, it's definitely a work in progress.
Yeah.
But I'm a much more calmer person now.
Yeah.
But no, I'm definitely like from a flight and fight situation, definitely a flight. I've always been flight. It's not necessarily a good thing. But I remember used to have massive arguments with my ex-husband, and I just fell asleep halfway through the argument.
Okay.
And it was just, it's like, it didn't help the argument,
Yeah.
but it was like, my body just shutting down because I was being confronted and attacked, and it wanted to remove shut down my system and take me out of the equation. So
my wife and I have the same response around some certain people. We start yawning. We have the same response. There's some certain people that we have to be around, just your family, whatever. And we have the same response. We start yawning. We start feeling tired. And next minute we're out cold on the couch, like around it, because our body's just shutting down around it. It doesn't want to. Yeah, it's just trying to.
It's a safety and energy thing for sure.
Yeah.
But no. At least you do it together.
Yeah. No, we're both the same. I look at my wife and she's yawning. I'm yawning. Oh, here we go. Like, yeah. So now we're aware of it because, if we're around certain people, it's like, yeah, we know what's going on. Like, yeah, it's yeah. And did you find that having that addiction to drama and chaos, like even myself, like I found if everything was going fine, I think I mentioned to you before, that if I started feeling really calm, I'd get to about the 24, 48 hour mark. I'd be like, oh, this is just weird. This isn't normal. Like something's going to go wrong. And I'd either sabotage it or create something or drink heaps of caffeine.
Yeah, queen of self-sabotage here. Absolute queen of self-sabotage. If you preempt things, you're like, and rightfully or wrongfully, you preempt them, and you're like, well, he's going to leave me, or this is going to happen, or something's going to go wrong. So you do it, you make it go wrong.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't even do it intentionally. It's completely subconsciously. It's you're like, you don't want to get hurt. So you do something to hurt someone else, or you do something that's reactive to remove yourself from getting hurt.
Yeah.
And it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy because you're like, something's going to go wrong, and then it goes wrong because you make it go wrong. And so it's and this is like what I was saying, it's like you couldn't hold down relationships, so enter the wrong ones. And even like my ex-husband, like I won't talk about him too much because I don't think it's very fair on him. But I married the wrong person, and we weren't. I don't think our relationship was ever really stable, and there was a lot of trauma from both ends that played a massive role. And I think, we just weren't good, like very good together. And I'm being very diplomatic here when I say this, but I think, and I do like, it's, I regret all my relationships.
Do you regret?
I don't regret my marriage. I think that there were parts of us that we brought out the best in each other to begin with. But I think by the end of it, we were just two very different people on two very different paths. And we wanted different things from life. And I think we got to the point where we no longer could grow together. And the toxic parts of us that were still left were just causing too many problems. And causing too many problems towards each other. So it just got to the point where it was better to leave. And we tried everything. Like, it wasn't just like, because I've had a whole like, well, you need to work on your marriage. I'm like, oh no, we did like couples counseling, the works. Like, we tried everything, and it didn't work. And I think like we genuinely, both of us are a lot happier for it, for not being together. And so I think like we did the right thing. So I don't regret that. But I do regret sort of, but don't get me wrong, I had the time of my life in my 20s, like I did. And I was, became quite successful in my career. I was making good money. I was living in West London. I was like, it was fun. I was like, it was what your 20s should be. It was fun. But a lot of the fun was toxic. And looking back on it, was a lot of like toxic behaviors and abuse, substances and alcohol and partying, which at the time it's like, yeah, this is amazing, but like it wasn't healthy. And I think that like a lot of it was covering up the fact that there was a lot wrong.
Yeah.
And there was a lot that I personally was probably trying to escape from. And one of them was probably my relationship. And I think that like those kind of behaviors, like I've grown out of now. Like I'm in fact, like I occasional drink, but I'm sober. And I think that this year has really highlighted that for me, because I've lost a lot of friends, like people that I thought would be my friends forever. And I actually realized that they were just sort of part of the part of the toxic corporate. Why did I say corporate? A part of the toxic bullshit. And living in that life. That's why I was saying corporate life in London. So my brain is getting ahead of me. Like growing up in that corporate, London work lifestyle where everyone is on the same wavelength as well. It's like you get caught up in that as well. So it was like a lot going on, and I wasn't giving myself any time to heal. That like sort of combined with like undiagnosed ADHD as well, and like all of that was coming into play now that I recognize it was fun, but like the party had to end.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the party ending also led to the ending of my marriage.
Yeah.
So it was the end of a chapter. It was like, that chapter's closed now. I've learned so much from it. I don't regret it. I regret being in other relationships 100%. Every other relationship that I was in leading up to my ex-husband, 100% regret. 100%. I wish I hadn't. But the trauma, again, was falling into abusive relationships that are unhealthy, unsustainable, horrible people. The one good person that I met out of all of them, I sabotaged it 100%.
Yeah.
Like, because there must be like, I was like literally with like actual psychopaths, and this one guy, I was like, no, he's awful. This person's obviously, there's something wrong with him. And I couldn't deal with it. And I couldn't deal with like the attention and the love, and it was, it's ironic, but so it wasn't normal to me. And I was like 17 at the time, or 18 at the time, and so I was so young. But I don't like, the one thing I'm really proud of myself for in my 20s was building my career, because if I hadn't built my career, if I hadn't focused on my career, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing now.
Wow. Yeah, right.
So that was so much.
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot. And how would you how do you feel about the relationship with yourself? Like I always say, the relationship with yourself is the foundation, the basis of all the other relationships around you. Because if you don't like, value, or respect yourself, no one else will.
No.
Like, does that make sense? Like, and you've come
100%.
so far, like hearing your story, like to come through that, and like you've been through, like you're at a place, you're only 38, right? You probably might feel, I don't know where you're at right now, but I'm going to be just honest with you right now, right? You said you're pretty much like sober. That's huge, right? Yeah, you've got to a place, yeah, you're traveling the world, like you're living your dream, like, yeah, full-time travel. You've got a great friend now, Ness. Yeah.
I've got great friends in general. I've really am for the first time in my life surrounded by good people.
Yeah. And so how do you feel about the relationship with yourself? Like, yeah, like
for the first time in my life, I'm starting to like love me and who I am turning into. Like, there's so many facets to this question, because I think if you'd asked me a year ago, it would be a very different answer. And it's just a year. In just a year, so much has changed and so much has happened, and I've done so much in order to get to this point. I'm genuinely incredibly proud of myself. A year ago, I probably would have told you that I didn't want to be here anymore and I wanted to try. And there were a couple of moments last year where I did try.
Wow.
And I was done. I was done last year. And I was thinking about this the other day, actually. It's like I was looking back, there was one moment last year where I remember just collapsing on my bedroom floor, just screaming, crying. Just, I was out. I was finished. It was just that I didn't see a way out. There was nothing left for me anymore. And like last year was tough. Like last year was going through the divorce. I stayed back in London, and London's an incredibly toxic city for me anyway. I fall back into old patterns, old habits, old relationships. Like it's not like a fun place for me to be anymore. So I'm not in my 20s anymore. Like that's not the lifestyle that I want. And then on top of the divorce, one of my really good friends, Tanya, was diagnosed with cancer. So I went through that with her. She sadly passed away at the end of October. It was the 1st of November, actually. I remember waking up after Halloween and having the messages. And I think it was just so much on top of that, and on top of me, like my business was failing. I was failing. I just kept telling myself the same old crap over and over again. This is a fallow year. This year doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter if I'm not saving money or things aren't happening. And I think I was trying to convince myself that everything was okay, and it wasn't. And I think I just broke. I just ended up breaking. And I think if I hadn't have booked that one-way ticket to Australia, I don't think I would have survived the year.
Wow.
Yeah. So for me to be able to sit here now and be like, I'm great. Like, I feel good. I'm a work in progress, as I said, but like, I feel so much happier. I'm healthier. I'm a much more positive person. I have an incredibly different outlook on myself. Like in the last 8 months, I've changed my career. I've started uni, studying again. I've been to Australia, Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines, like 5-6 countries this year alone. Yeah. I've got like a group of girlfriends in my life that I never thought that I would have access to. It's like I feel like I've started over completely, and in the first time as well, it's like I've bought gone back to studying, so I've paying for that, and I've bought a course as well. I've gone to go into social media content, UGC. I bought a course for that, and it's like the first time that I am genuinely investing in myself for the first time in my entire life, that I am investing in myself and investing in my future and building a future that I want, not someone else wants, not that I have to share, but what I want. And And then for the first time, I have goals. Like, I'd never felt like I've had goals like this before. And I've never been this excited about, passionate about, and like my career as I have been in years. So yeah, it's a really loaded question, because it's like, I look back on now and like how I was a year ago, and I was like, shit, like things have changed so much for the better. And I'm so proud of that. And I know that I have so much to work on still, and I really am working on it. But like, even from a spiritual level, like I feel so much more connected to everything, connected to the universe, and whether you believe it or not, but like I feel so much more connected to the universe. I feel like I am on the right track, on the right path. I feel that like everything is kind of flowing towards me as it should be for the first time in forever. And everything just feels like it's like naturally aligning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best answer I can give for that.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Yeah, I've got a few questions here. Just give me a sec. I'm gonna.
No, go for it.
Let me just see. I don't know. There's one here. Like, do you think travel changed you, or did it simply reveal who you really were all along? In a positive sense, like, do you think it changed? Like, did it change you, or was it a combination of the both, or did it reveal? Like,
so what did travel change me? Do you think?
So do you think travel changed you, or did it simply reveal who you were or all along? So do you think by traveling, it kind of helped you peel back the layers of all the trauma, all the stuff, and reveal your authentic self, or the combination of the both? Like,
I think travel has definitely shown me what I'm capable of.
Yeah.
And what I can do. I think that's definitely a big thing. And I think that it is definitely allowed allowed me to see who I am, and given me, like, travel has given me that space to be that person.
Yeah.
Away from all of the sort of noise and the rubbish that you get with daily life. I like sit here sometimes like to myself and I'm like, this is my life. Like, I wake up in like these beautiful places every day. I can travel to whatever country I want to. I work when I want to. I work completely freely on my own schedule. I'm working like towards another career path. Like, this is my life. Like, I can't believe it sometimes. Like, I don't come from money. I remember when I think I was 19, and I walked into the flight center and travel agents, and I asked them about how much a round the world ticket was, because you could buy them then. And they were like, oh, they start from £1,200, which is nothing. It's nothing for a round the world ticket. And back then, I hadn't even seen that amount of money. Like, I didn't even think I would ever make that kind of money. And I remember leaving the flight center crying, because I'm like, no, that's that out the window. Like, I'm never going to be able to travel. And so, like, I've always wanted to travel, always. And so to be able to sit here at 38 and be fulfilling that dream, like, completely and totally, and knowing that I don't have to go back to the UK if I don't want to, and knowing that, like, oh, I'm just gonna like book a flight to Sri Lanka tomorrow, or I'm like gonna like learn to dive and stuff like that, and have all of these like opportunities open to me, which I wouldn't have if I was back in the UK, or I would never thought I would have any of this. It's mad to me. But yeah, I think it has definitely given me the space to sort of realize who I am.
Yeah.
And it has changed me. It's definitely changed me, but it's changed me in ways that I needed to change. And it's brought out those things in me that needed to be brought out. So it's not necessarily given me like a whole new identity. It's just brought out the one that needed, like, that was there all along.
Yeah. And what's next for Hayley? Like, in the next 2 to 5 years, where do you see yourself? Who do you want to, do you still want to continue growing? Who do you want to become? Like, yeah, where do you want to be? Who do you want to be? Like, that kind of stuff.
I think I'm definitely very focused on my healing journey. As I said, this is like in the last few months is the most healing I've ever done in my entire life. And like a effective, consistent healing. So I'm definitely like, I'm on this journey now forever. I have at least another 3 years of travel in me.
Yeah.
I've got I'm going back to South America so I've got to go back to the UK in December to pass my driving test.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do that, hopefully. And then
so you're going to get your driver's license? Does that mean for
yes,
the first time? Or
again, yeah, for the first time. So again, going back to not having money when I was younger, I was never able to afford to learn to drive. And learning to drive in the UK is expensive. And so it's not something that, it's not like America or Australia where like everyone does it when they're like 17, 16. It's like you can only do it if you can afford to do it. Like if your mum and dad buy you driving lessons for your birthday, you're wealthy, right? That's the kind of vibe there is in the UK. I never had them. And so I learned to drive before I came to Australia in December. But at the moment in the UK, it's impossible to get a driving test. Like, so difficult. So I couldn't get one before I left. So I booked one for December, and I'm going to go back and do it there.
Yeah, well done.
Thank you. And I'm going to get my CBT test done as well, because I want to be driving scooters as well. And it makes life so much easier. And then I'm going to fly over to Colombia to see some friends, and then going to go back to Brazil for Carnival again. And then I've got a conservation trip booked in Cambodia in March. And then I'm going to fly back over to Bolivia and do the Amazon rainforest of Ness.
Wow.
And then I've just invested in some land in Indonesia. So
you bought land in...
This like literally happened like last week.
What? That's so cool. Like, that's awesome.
So I'm working with a local there who I've met, and we're going to build a yoga and wellness center together. So I'm going to move to Indonesia in April, which would be the plan if I can sort the visas out. All this stuff confuses me.
That's huge.
So that's the next goal, and then obviously get my qualification in somatics. So it's kind of like the next sort of 2 years.
It is all coming together, like you said.
It is all coming together.
Yeah, wow, that's huge. That's massive. Like, yeah, well done. That's so cool. Like,
thank you.
Yeah, very cool.
And then obviously get my podcast off the ground if we can get our shit together. I think we've got like 6 recordings now, and not one of them has been published. So we need to get there.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, wow, that's I really appreciate you sharing your story. Like,
thank you for having me, and thank you for listening.
Yeah, like I can't imagine what it would be like. Like I try, but I can only try. But that's heavy for anyone to go through, and then to try and go through life.
You're one of the most inspiring people that I've ever met. So the same with you. I can get my head around about how you've dealt with everything and what you've overcome. It's amazing. And I can't wait to get your podcast out to share that with everyone.
Yeah. So, I really appreciate it. And, I wish you all the best with all your goals and dreams. I'm sure you're going to smash it. And I know that you're really going to help a lot of people. Like, I know you're going to help and inspire a lot of people. And I think that's,
I hope so.
Well, we're here on this planet. So I really do appreciate your time. So, thanks for watching, everyone. Like and subscribe to my YouTube, and also to Hayley's details. I'll put hers up too.